No one has ever loved dress up quite like Gwen Stefani. As the frontwoman of the pop ska-punk band No Doubt, she was a day-glow Debbie Harry, sporting bindis, adult braces, and layers of concert sweat. Once she went solo, she was a David LaChapelle portrait come to life. A hyper-real yodeler and pop queen who rapped about bananas alongside a troupe of giggling Japanese backup dancers whose inclusion raised more than a few eyebrows. Today, she's an apolitical country pop torch singer. Vintage Vivienne Westwood corsets slipped into her music videos like Easter eggs riffing on her past. Her transformations have been seamless, as natural as slipping on a new skin. Perhaps because one thing has stayed consistent the whole time: her ability to write about heartbreak better than anyone. Somebody Else's, the first track from Stefani's new album Bouquet, which is released on Friday, finds her celebrating the fact that she's no longer pining. "Leaving you saved me, my God," she sings. "Look at me blossom / you're somebody else's problem." What a difference 28 years makes. Back in 1996, Stefani cemented herself as pop's patron saint of tears. No Doubt's inaugural smash, Don't Speak, an angry yet devastated mid-tempo ballad about losing your best friend and lover, transformed the group into a late 90s phenomenon. In its video, Stefani is 3 different versions of herself: an anarchic rock star on stage, a glamorous solo act with diamonds around her neck and a band that resents her, and a wounded young woman whose only hope of recovery is pouring her heart out. It topped the UK charts for 3 weeks, an instant classic. Stefani's greatest chart success, both as part of No Doubt and as a solo artist, never came from that same emotional well again. Rather, it came from her purest acts of pop and chaos, such as No Doubt's dancehall jumble Hey Baby or the marching band opus Hollaback Girl. But buried beneath the bravado was Stefani's turmoil, much of which she turned into pop beauty. This, truth be told, started early. Just a Girl, released in the UK to little attention in 1996 but re-released and subsequently smashing in the wake of Don't Speak, is best remembered as a sonic eye roll or a sardonic kiss-off to male condescension. Stefani is defiant and battle-ready, but watch its video until the very end and you'll see the patriarchy finally get to her. The track doesn't ascend to its close but rather shrinks, Stefani's expression going from certainty to apprehension as she sings one last, suddenly hopeless cry of "I've had it up to here." In that moment, she laid the groundwork for much of her best work. Give us escapist fantasy, but not without a glimpse of the gnarlier truth. Stefani's greatest psalms are tortured romances, ones that recall all-consuming love affairs gone to seed. She writes them as the psychodramas they often are, where having your heart broken is, on some level, akin to being killed. Her teen romance with No Doubt bassist Tony Cannell fueled 1996's Tragic Kingdom, the album that sent the band into the stratosphere. Her on-again/off-again relationship with Bush frontman Gavin Rossdale, they first got together in 1995, married in 2002, had 3 children, then divorced in 2016, underpins much of the rest of her work. On Tragic Kingdom, Stefani nails the very specific misery of loving someone far more than they love you. Don't Speak is about recognizing that your partner has grown distant, yet practically begging them not to recognize it too. Other tracks sound like Stefani is crawling out of grief, but with such bluster and performative defiance that it borders on denial. In interviews at the time, she would admit that her and Cannell's breakup was messy and far harder on her than it was on him. She'd often try and start things up again, to little avail. "God gave me this gift." Perhaps because they dated so young and were bound by the success of their band, Stefani and Cannell did foster a friendship from the ashes of their romance. Cool, a track from Stefani's 2004 solo debut Love Angel Music Baby, and truthfully, one of the greatest psalms ever written, unfolds like a fairy tale that somehow came true. Stefani sings of her disbelief that they became friends again and can hang out with their new partners with no drama. "We used to think it was impossible," she sings. "Now you call me by my new last name." The video, directed by Stefani's regular collaborator Sophie Muller, toggles back and forth in time, Stefani and her on-screen lover in the throes of young love, and then later on with Stefani meeting his new wife. There are still brief moments of longing or an aura of feelings unspoken, because, as Stefani has always told us, nothing is ever that easy. But they are otherwise cordial. As the song goes, they're cool. Her relationship with Rossdale had a less happy ending. No Doubt's follow-up to Tragic Kingdom, 2000's melancholy return to Saturn, was written by Stefani while in a state of depression. Before she and Rossdale married, the pair were forever splitting up and getting back together, pulled apart by infidelities, insecurities, and conflicting tour dates. In 2021, Stefani said that she can't listen to the album today as it's too loaded with messages that she didn't take notice of at the time. It makes sense. Return of Saturn goes beyond confession to a point of almost unbearable intimacy. Simple Kind of Life finds her pining for motherhood and stability with Rossdale, despite him seeming cruelly withholding. In the track's video, Stefani sits beneath a giant, flashing birth control device and sings guiltily and uneasily. Sometimes I wish for a mistake. On the album's other songs, she grapples with her own self-loathing and how it manifests as jealousy and rage. Such a cute girl, I'm so jealous, she sings on Staring Problem. I wish I looked exactly like her / what's it like to have that body? Stefani's lyrics can be brutal and unsparing, and she rarely writes in metaphor. That's potentially why she always seems surprised in interviews when she's told they've touched people. Yet their lack of obvious complexity is where their power lies. A song like the dramatic ballad Early Winter, from her 2006 album, The Sweet Escape, is arresting because of how blunt it is. I was always one for crying, she confesses. I was never one for lying / you lied to me all these years. Red Flag, a track from her 2016 record, This Is What the Truth Looks Like, was written after she and Rossdale finally split, and it has a frightened vulnerability to it that feels real. I get nervous you won't love me back, she sings to a potential new partner. It only drove home how Stefani specializes in unattractive emotions, or the ones we're told to conceal. By singing about them, though, she drains them of their shame. In recent years, much has been made of Stefani's marriage to the singer Blake Shelton, a cheesy country music crooner who's repeatedly dodged questions about his political leanings. Their relationship has coincided with a vaguely uncool pop culture era for Stefani herself, a Christmas album, denials of historic cultural appropriation. Singles witheringly compared to discount clothing shop adverts. Shiny and chic her newest output is not. But if we are to take Stefani not as an incredibly radical pop star and more one of music's greatest vessels of heartache, it is the ending she always deserved. She finally has the simple kind of life she's wanted for nearly 3 decades, one devoid of the drama that fueled such transcendent music, but also brought her years of pain. If anyone deserves uncomplicated love with a man who worships her, it's the woman who spent years so openly pining for it.